It's all about self-help, self-help, self, baby. Hi, I'm Yvette Ford. Welcome to Self-Help Me. It's the show that challenges self-help authors to change my and your life. We determine if these authors are legit or they should just quit. Did you know that self-help is a $13 billion a year industry? Well, I've personally read over 100 self-help books, and some were helpful, and some were just plain cray-cray. Here's how the idea got started. After college, my life wasn't turning out the way I had imagined it would. In fact, I've mostly kind of felt lost in a lot of areas in my life, like my career, my finances, health and fitness, and relationships. I've never really been able to commit to anything. So over the years, I've decided to go on a self-help journey, making me kind of a self-help expert, I think. Today's self-help challenge goes to best-selling author Joe Nunziata and his new book, Karma Buster. Joe is a business and life coach who's going to help us heal ourselves and create the life we were meant to live. Now, I don't know much about karma, but I know I seem to keep bumping my head up against the wall like time after time. And most of the time, I feel like I'm moving backwards. Joe's going to help me with that. Hi, Joe.
Hello,
welcome to the show. Thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Hey, so here's the book, guys, Karma Buster. So, Joe, I love the book. I also loved spiritual selling.
Thank you.
And, you know, I just want to say this thing about spiritual selling for all those out there who are working in sales. Buy this book. I mean, you really. So how this book helped me in my sales, in my business, was that I just took your approach of taking a sale to the being of service, as opposed to just getting a sale for a commission. So when I just made that simple adjustment just to say, how can I serve this client? And I was really in that mindset of serving the client. It was amazing to me how the sales just started coming and coming and coming. It was really amazing. Imagine that. So I really love the book. So in Karma Buster, you talk about, well, first of all, what is karma?
You know, that was something when I wrote the book, so I started to ask people what was their definition. So I would be like, if I'm pumping gas or wherever I am. And everybody had the same basic answer, which was, you know, if you do good things come to you. If you do bad things come to you.
Right.
To a degree, true, and that's tied into kind of law of attraction energy. But really, karma is so much deeper. So your karma, in a simple answer, really is the blueprint for your unique emotional journey. So you have an emotional journey, I have an emotional journey. I came here to experience certain emotions, as did you, and I'm blueprinted to feel those feelings as you are to feel your feelings. So it's not just about, well, I'm supposed to do X, Y, or Z. It's also about really the emotional experience you're here to have.
So the blueprint, I'm just trying to formulate this in my mind. So then that means everyone's different. Everyone's, so, okay. Because you know they say everyone's the same.
Well, we're the same, but we came to feel different things at different levels. We all feel the same things. So for example, everybody feels abandonment.
Right.
For me, that was a core issue. Now for someone else, that may not be a core issue. They may feel slight abandonment and much more unworthiness. So even though
I have that too.
Right. We all have all of them. But the thing is, we have them at different levels.
Right.
So let's say for me, abandonment was a core feeling. Maybe for you, it's there, but it's not a big feeling. You see, and for somebody, unworthiness is a bigger feeling or whatever. So there's just different levels of feeling and different emotions.
Okay, I get where you're going. That's the whole feeling thing too. I'm going to talk to you about that.
Yeah, the feeling emotions part.
Okay, so I read the book and then I was just looking at the snapshot, page 19, snapshot of the karma busting process. And you talk about awareness. I have a feeling you're going to talk about feelings. So there's awareness, trigger, identify the surface emotion, and then use meditation and repeat. So please explain the process, and maybe you could do a little bit of the clearing exercise with me so I can see how that works.
Great. So first I need to be aware, which a lot of people are not. You know, they're walking around just rushing through the day and trying to do a million different things and getting through their to-do list. And
are these the unconscious people?
Yeah.
Or just kind of.
Well, I think most people are unconscious, and you know, we have a lot of people who are just kind of churning through the day in physical form.
Right.
As you do this work, you have to become more aware of yourself and how you feel. See, this is something we didn't learn how to do, was feel our feelings. So the idea is to say, think about how many people go through the day and are asking themselves throughout the day, how do I feel right now?
Never.
No, because we didn't learn that.
I don't do it either.
Right, and we didn't learn how to do that. So now you have to retrain yourself to say, how do I feel? Because all my energy that I'm holding that's blocking me is based on emotion that I haven't released. So therefore, if I'm not aware I'm feeling anything, I can't feel anything.
I'm holding all my feelings in.
Correct.
All the time.
Well, then that would hold all that energy within your system. And then you would not clear that energy.
Because you know what, my boyfriend Randy, I'm like, so how do you feel about? He's like, I don't know. It's like the guy has no feelings.
Yeah.
So my concern is that him not expressing his feelings, like something bad's gonna happen.
Well,
So I think I'm better at it, but not good at it. But I'm better than he is. So I'm better than Randy.
Well, that's a good thing.
I'm better than him.
Maybe it's not a good thing. I don't know. But anyway.
Okay, so let's bust some of this karma. So feelings, I'm aware of my feelings.
So as you get more aware of how you feel, now your day changes because you're not going through the day saying, okay, I have my to-do list, I have to do these things, I have to come today, be to bed, I have to do this, I have things to do, right? But I'm not in that space. I'm more in my emotional space. How do I feel? How do I feel about coming here? How do I feel about traffic in the morning? How do I feel about this? How do I feel about that?
So all day I'm asking myself, how do I feel about these things?
Just want to be more, it just kind of makes you more aware. It shifts yourself out of your brain. That's really what we want to do. We want to get you out of your head. Now,
idea.
inevitably what happens is something will trigger you off during the day. Not necessarily every day. But somebody says something, somebody cuts you off, somebody, steals your money, whatever they're doing.
Sure.
And now you get triggered. And what we do, because we don't know how to deal with our emotion, is we react. So I'm going to react in my brain, right? So I'm going to yell at someone, I'm going to self-medicate, I'm going to become self-critical, whatever it is that I decide to do.
Yes.
And what I've done is actually had this opportunity to deal with an emotion, but what I've really done is all I did was go through my routine, hold myself in the same space, in effect take that emotion and bring it back to myself, and now what will happen is I will repeat that again. So that's really what a pattern is.
So is that the feeling, is that the trigger? Like someone cuts you off and you're triggered by it, and then I'm identifying it myself.
Yeah, what do I feel? So you're going to have a surface feeling, which will be the initial. I'm angry, I'm upset, I'm mad, I'm sad, whatever it is. What we want to do is get underneath and find out what you're really feeling. Because you're really not angry, because I always say to people, they say, I'm angry. I say, well, what are you angry about? Now they have to, I don't know, I just was angry. I don't know, I never got to that point. I just got angry and then had a drink. So now I want to get angry and say, stop. What am I really feeling? But we don't do that. We just say, I'm angry, go do something, or call somebody, or have a drink, or call somebody up, or yell at someone, or do whatever. Like my family,
react, become reactionary,
right. My family is very reactionary, so they yelled.
Yeah.
But nothing ever got resolved because
you're Italian.
Yeah, because
you
Italians,
guys like to
that's
yell.
all they do.
Okay, right.
But they're not. See, but here's the misnomer, and here's kind of people think because these people are very dramatic that they're feeling something. They're really not.
Oh, they're reacting.
They're just reacting. So they're not actually feeling anything. They're just kind of venting. But they didn't deal with the emotion because they don't even know what they felt. They just kind of did their usual.
So I'm gonna just go out on a limb here and say that then what happens is that you're just reacting, and you're probably creating more bad karma.
Well, we call it a karmic wheel or a karmic cycle. So what I do is I keep cycling that same thing again. So
keep redoing it.
Right. I attracted someone who betrayed me. Right? Now I'm upset, I got mad, I got angry, I got sad, I drank, whatever I did. I didn't deal with the emotion. Now I'm still in that energy, so I'll attract another person who betrays me. I'm going to go through the same routine, be a victim, be self-critical, go through some kind of self-medication, talk to my friends. So I'm just basically recycling that same feeling over and over again until I identify it and deal with it. And once I do, I can stop recreating it.
Okay, so I get I'm angry,
right.
But underneath it, I'm really feeling
something else.
Right. I wonder. Okay, is that hard to figure out what?
Well, in the beginning, it is because you're not used to doing that. You're used to saying, "I'm angry. This is what I do." I'm angry. I yell at someone.
So if I'm angry, what's an underlying thing that's pretty common for most people?
Well, it could be anything. It could be you feel abandoned. It could be you feel unworthy. It could be you feel unappreciated. It could be you feel like your voice was not heard. It could be you feel unimportant. It could be a million. It could be anything. So you're really angry. You're angry because of what's underneath. You're visibly angry, or on the surface level you're angry. But you really want to understand why. So for example, if I'm in a meeting and somebody dismisses me, let's say if I say I have an idea, they say, no, not now, Joe, which has happened to me in corporate America. Now I'm upset with the guy because I think he's an idiot.
Right.
But that's not really what happened. It's my feeling that my input is not important. I'm not important. So that's what I'm actually feeling. So what I actually did at a very high level, because we have a high level audience, right? I actually created that for that guy to say that to me so I could bring that feeling into my consciousness.
That's the karma wheel thing.
Well, I'm going to bring that into my consciousness because that's how I'm going to bring it into my awareness. So if I can't get to it myself, which most people can't, I create something in the physical world to bring it into my consciousness, which is the opportunity to clear it. Now the question is, do I clear it or do I recycle it? Those are your two options.
Right, right.
And it's happening all day to everybody.
Do I clear it or go and mask it with alcohol or
Well, basically,
or whatever the thing is, right?
So either you clear it, either you work on clearing it, or you just recycle it.
Okay.
That's all you do, one of those.
Okay, so the work on the clearing, I'm going to assume that that's the clearing process
That's the
we do it through
I do it through meditation work.
Okay.
So we want people to basically, in a snapshot of what that is just look at that incident later. Let's say it happens to you in the supermarket or whatever. You can't do it right now because you're out in the world. Go home later, sit nice and quiet, and just kind of replay that incident in your mind first. Just see it. I'm going to just see it. This is what happened. Yeah, I saw that. She said something. I was angry. Now I want to go do it again, but as I do it the second time, what I want to do is I want to feel it. What was I really feeling as that happened? As that person said, shut up. As I got cut off. As that was happening, how did I feel? And in the beginning, it's frustrating because I don't know, I don't feel anything. I'm still angry. I don't know what it is. It takes time. But as you have to allow yourself to say, well, I really felt like, I felt like I was unimportant. Now, then what we want to do is look to childhood, because all the feelings we have came from childhood. So somebody in your childhood made you feel unimportant. Because that's where the anchor is. That's where I want to get to.
I love that you said that too, because I've had experiences where I've seen someone or been in contact with someone and I had like an attitude or weirdness against them when I didn't really know them, but they reminded me of someone who I knew in my childhood in the past.
Yeah, they're going to bring it.
And I treated them some kind of way too, like I was like, ah.
Yeah. It's just because that's your energy picking that up.
Yeah.
It was funny. We saw a woman the other day. My wife and I were out, and we did a yoga class. There's a woman she knows, and she came in, and it was kind of like I almost got I got like a little. So I'm like, okay, it's just an awareness. Okay, I know, or I'll go meet somebody for work, like a client, right? I'll sit down with somebody who wants to do work with me, and I'll just get like a vibe, and I'm saying, this is not a good person for me to work with.
Yeah.
I have to trust that to say, or say, wow, this is a great person for me to work with, whatever it is.
An opportunity for you too, again, because if you're bringing it to you anyway, this person. So I got it. I got that.
Yeah.
So how does the meditation? Is it? Because obviously a lot of people out there, meditation seems like it's just kind of to kumbaya or guru or whatever that. Is there a simple technique that like the layperson can do just to sort of get clear?
Yeah, it's not, I think we look at, there's a lot of different meditations. There's some meditations just to calm yourself and some meditations to connect. I do a meditation every morning just to kind of connect myself and anchor my energy. This is more of a really pointed meditation because I'm really targeting this emotion. So meditation really is just getting quiet. People make a big deal out of it, like you need candles and robes and whatever you think you're doing. But really, it's just like get quiet for a few minutes. So, I'm in New York a couple of weeks ago, about last month, and I'm doing some events, and I always talk about meditation. And the New Yorkers are very, intense. So they're like, okay, how long do I have to do it?
Guilty,
you're a New Yorker. This is why you and I get along, right? So it's like, well, how long do I have to do it? And how long? What is it? When will it work? And it's like, it's not. Just get quiet. So if you can just get quiet for a few minutes. So all you want to do is get quiet. Preferably, you want to sit on the floor. Because you want to be grounded to the floor. You could sit on a chair if that works, but I prefer to sit on the floor. You don't have to do that.
Okay.
Get a comfortable spot, put a pillow behind your back, just kind of sit there quietly. I always tell people who haven't done it, start with breathing. Inhale on a count of 3, exhale on a count of 3. That'll kind of get you to nice and relaxed and get your brain, it disengages your brain a little bit. And in this case, what we're doing now is I'm replaying an incident. So I want to replay the incident. And I want to kind of go through it and say what happened and kind of watch it like a movie almost, as if it just happened that day or whatever. I could remember it pretty vividly. Then I want to do it again, and then I would say, what was I really feeling? And you'll start to bring up that same trigger. Oh, that anger. I was so angry the way he spoke to me or the way she said that. And now I'm starting to bring up that anger a little bit. And as I start to bring up the anger, I want to say, well, how did that really feel? What did I really feel? And then you'll start to open that up and say, well, I really felt, wow, that really was dismissive. That really made me feel unimportant. And now what I'm looking to do is say, well, it came from somewhere. It came from my childhood. So someone in my childhood who spoke to you like that, and people say, oh yeah, my father was like that. Every time I went to say something, he just said, oh, get out. So that's a replay of an event with your dad that you never resolved, that you just replayed now at 30, 40, 50 years old.
Okay, so in my meditation, so I'm breathing, and then I'm feeling that feeling, whatever it was, the reaction earlier, and then I'm asking myself, where did that come from? And it's coming from some childhood place, and then I determine that it's my father.
Right.
So then how do I get rid of it?
So now, what'll happen sometimes with people, they'll say, as I was doing it, it actually remembered an incident from when I was 7 years old. It'll
Yeah.
almost like, it doesn't
Yeah.
have to happen every time, but sometimes
Yeah.
it does. It'll say,
Yeah.
oh my God, I remember this time my father yelled at me and this would happen and he smacked me or something. And now you want to allow yourself to feel that emotion. So you never did because you repressed it.
Oh.
So now as I feel that feeling.
So if it's sadness, I just have to just sit and be sad.
And you may be crying.
Right.
I cried, I make a joke with everybody now, but which you know because you know me a long time.
Yeah.
So I cried every day for almost 2 years when I was clearing all this out because I had not felt the feeling in all those years. So all of a sudden when they started coming, finally, they
I
came.
know. And that's so funny because, like, look,
Yeah.
this guy, you wouldn't expect that
This
from
truck
this guy, right?
This former truck driver, boxer,
Right, yeah.
athlete, tough knock
Yeah.
around,
Yeah.
bartender.
Well, I
So,
will.
yeah.
I will say this too. Yeah, and I'll say that when I'm crying, almost always, I guess I would say probably all the time, you feel great. Then you're like, oh,
Yeah, it's like, oh.
whew, yeah, you feel lighter and
So now what happened was,
Yeah.
as you cried and felt it. So really what you did was you allowed yourself to feel it.
Yeah.
And all these years you've been not allowed yourself to feel it.
right.
When you
Got
cry,
it.
when you do that, what you're doing is in your energy field is you're removing density from your energy field, which is why you feel lighter. Because now I'm not carrying that heavy energy anymore. It's been removed. So that's why you feel a feeling of lightness.
So and then then my karma is busted. In
Well,
that moment
now,
after that?
okay, so, of course, that's the next question, right? Oh, if I do it, I felt that, I knew it happened, I'm done. Well, no, because depending on the issue, so if it's a very deep issue, you will not get it all at one meditation.
One shot.
So you'll do it again, and you'll do it again.
Well,
you'll
you do.
it
That's
again.
the final step. It's like it says, repeat.
Repeat. And then later in the book, I go into the deeper meditation, which
Yeah.
is where you really focus on your parents. So the reason that one is so powerful is now I'm not waiting for an incident. I'm actually going in to get it out before I create an incident.
Oh.
So that's kind of the advanced level where I actually sit down and meditate on one of my parents and how they made me feel. So by flushing out that energy, what I'm doing is it's a preemptive strike so I don't create this.
Wow. Okay.
So that's like the advanced level.
I was just going to
Yeah.
say, Joe, that might be our next
Right.
visit.
Right.
Yeah. So
That's actually also
Wow,
in the book.
okay.
That's in the book as well, right? But
Yeah.
this is the beginning.
Okay.
Because we want to get people. Because in the beginning, when I first started doing the work with people, it was just start feeling something. People are like, I
Anything,
don't feel
yeah.
anything. I'm like a brick. I don't,
yeah.
so-
Yeah, Randy.
Right.
Yeah, I'm going to
So
get
he
Randy.
needs to get
Randy.
into some feelings. You
Yeah.
know, as you start to just. And again, it's a shift of the way you operate because we did not learn this. We are trained to be mental. You're trained to be mental. You're trained to be a problem solver. You're trained to be, especially guys.
Yes.
So now the idea to say, what do you feel? How do you feel? Get into your feelings. This is like you're in another planet. Like, what are you talking about? What am I feeling? This is not a road I go down.
Yeah.
And it's hard. So in the
Yeah.
beginning, so I'll tell you what I did because I'm anal.
Okay.
I
And
actually
we got
took,
about 1 minute left, so
I
yes.
took little yellow index cards.
Yeah.
And I wrote, how do you feel? ? In a black Sharpie.
Okay.
And I had them all over the place. So I had it on my refrigerator, I had it on my computer, I had it in my car.
gosh.
So I had these cards all over the place. So every time I walked around, I said, how do you
How do you
I kept
feel?
saying,
How do you feel?
So
How
I
do you
was like,
feel?
it was like retraining yourself.
I'm going to do that.
So that was what I did because I said I want to retrain myself to be aware of this. So I'm always thinking. It started to little by little sink in, and then I started to feel different. Then I started to say, oh wow, that felt like this. And it just took a little time, but it kind of forced me into being aware
Yeah.
of it. So that's
I
the
love it.
awareness part.
Well, I can see how that could bust your karma.
Yes, it will.
Wow. Well, Joe,
And it will
thank
happen.
you. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Index cards. I'm doing that
Yeah,
tonight.
just a little.
Well, guys, get the book, Karma Buster. Figure it out. And also, in the workplace, spiritual selling, guys, check it out. Do you want to do better in sales? Read Joe's book. And Joe, if people want to contact you for your services, coaching, or corporation,
They go to my
otherwise-
website, which is joenunz.com. JoeNunz, because no one can spell my last name. So it's joenunz.com.
Okay, great. Thanks so much, Joe.
Thank you.
Back in a moment.